been announced.
And it is for the Hybrid School of Wrestling Tag Team Championship. Introducing first,
There they are, the flocking Brawlers back together again. If you didn't know, Mike, if you weren't following, they are the former Hybrid School of Wrestling Tag Team Champions. As a matter of fact, the Broken Brawler, the babyface backbreaker, has the title of his own. He is a United Heritage Champion as well.
That's right, Casey Blackrose, like you said, Doc, the United 2-1-0 Heritage Champion, coming off of a war in his own right last night in the yard. Still your reigning champion there. And Casey Blackrose and Brandon Weiss, both the flocking Brawlers, keeping their foot on the gas here tonight, going up against the Texas Kingdom.
And this is a bit of a tense situation for the both of them, because there's no hate between either teams. There's no love lost, but there is a lot of competition. There's a lot of strong will to want to stay on top, to get to the top.
And at the end of the day, that's all you need, Doc. That desire to be the best, that drive to be the champion is why all of these men and women are in that ring. And case in point right now, Casey Blackrose, Brandon Weiss going up against King Rob Love and Studstash of the Texas Kingdom. Not the first time these teams have fought. I'm willing to bet it's not going to be the last, but I tell you what happens every single time. It is a complete war. And these two men are going to take it to the Kingdom, and I don't have any reason to think that's going to be any different tonight.
We're going to wait for the entrance, the arrival of the champions, the Hybrid School of Wrestling Tag Team Champions. The Texas Kingdom, they're really setting the anticipation thick in this room. Doesn't look like the Brawlers are worried about this. All smiles, Brandon Weiss. But here he comes.
See King Rob Love, the enforcer, Studstash right behind him, the Texas Kingdom.
Ooh, King Rob Love looks like there's a bit of wear and tear there.
To put it lightly, and fans, you've heard us say it throughout the night here, United 2-1-0 having their show last night. King Rob Love sustaining, well, how can we put this, I guess, as cordially as we can here.
You have to look at the socials at United 2-1-0. It was massive. There was a lot of blood involved.
Yeah, we're not going to mince words here, folks. It was as violent as I've ever seen any match. These two men, Studstash, King Rob Love, leaned it all on the line in the yard last night. Go check that out as soon as you can. But right here tonight at the Hybrid School of Wrestling, the Texas Kingdom versus the Flocking Brawlers. For those right there, your hybrid tag team titles.
That's a lot of strength in a person, in two people. To be able to go to war, to be able to come out bloody, bruised, and still meet face to face with their opponents here at the Hybrid School of Wrestling. They know that this is going to be a hard-fought match, considering the fact that what's on the line right now is the Hybrid School of Wrestling Tag Team Championship belt.
Couldn't have said it any better myself, Doc. You're absolutely right. Everyone in that ring right now, except maybe Armani. Who knows? Jury's out on that one. But they all know what's at stake right now.
Introducing first, in the corner to my left, they are the challengers from the broken nest of the world, the team of the high-stepping, heartbreaking Flamingo King, Brandon Weiss, and the United 2-0 Heritage Champion, the babyface backbreaker, Casey Blackrose. They are the Flocking Brawlers!
He gets what he wants. He knows what he wants.
I mean, I'm not going to tell him, though. I've seen what happens to those guys.
Oh, well.
It's a valid question.
A bit vulgar
And
there.
their opponents, they are the reigning Hybrid School of Wrestling Tag Team Champions.
Make some flocking noise
from the Southside Kingdom, they are the team of King Rob Love, Stud Stash. They are the Texas Kingdom.
If you're listening, the audience is split. They're not split, really. They're going for both. It's hard to choose.
To be honest, I understand it. I mean, both of these teams, all four of these men's singles action, tag team action, they're all bringing everything they have to the table every single time. And I know you and I have gone back and forth about particular tactics used tonight here, Doc, but I think you and I can agree that at the end of the day, that's the important part. That's what matters. You know what's on the line, and you're focused, and your heart is focused on becoming a champion. Once again, if you're the Flocking Brawlers, and holding on to the championships if you're the Texas Kingdom.
Well, it also speaks volumes to the relationship in this match. These two groups of people, they know each other well. They've worked with each other. They've fought each other. Stud Stash and Casey Black Rose practically have a big brother, little brother relationship. They know the ins and outs. They've mentored each other. But now they understand that once they're in this ring and that bell rings, it's business. It's all focus.
100%. And not only are we talking about that familiarity between partners, Casey Black Rose, Brandon Weiss, King Rob Love, Stud Stash, but like we've been saying, these two teams have waged wars against each other. And to say they're familiar with each other is an understatement, just like I think them being familiar with their opponents is just as much of an understatement at this point. And I've got to think maybe that comes into play at some point. If you know your opponent's offense in and out, makes you able to predict what's coming, except maybe that clothesline taking out Brandon Weiss. King Rob Love takes the Flamingo King to the corner, whips him to the other end with the Irish whip, and a big elbow directly to the forehead of Brandon Weiss.
He looks dazed and confused.
Oh!
Ooh. Oh, look at the little shimmy that he gave
little
there.
shake, rattle, and roll. Brandon Weiss might be trying to live the American dream, but down he goes.
And King Rob Love is showing off. While he's circling Brandon Weiss, picking him up off the floor. Did you know, though, Brandon Weiss and Casey Black Rose were the first tag team champions?
Absolutely, and had a hard-fought battle to get those championships the first time around. And if anybody knows what it's going to take to get there, it is these two guys, Casey Black Rose, Brandon Weiss. But just look at this big roadblock that just stepped in front of him, Stud Stash himself.
That's a mountain. Going against a Flamingo. How does he survive that?
Hey, that's a good question, and to be quite honest, I don't know if I have the answer. I mean, Stud Stash, we've seen this just commit acts of complete, utter violence in that ring.
Not just in this ring, not just in Texas, not just in the United States, but internationally as well.
Absolutely. Stud Stash competing in international deathmatch tournaments. Rob Love, like we just said last night, going through a bit of his own. But Brandon Weiss not caring about any of that, firing back with these fists of his own, but King Rob Love cutting him off.
These two teams know what's on the line. They know what's at stake, so they have to concentrate. They have to focus on who's in front of them, especially when you got such a behemoth of a man in the same ring with you. Look at what Stud Stash is doing.
And what can you do, Doc, when a man that big and that strong decides he wants to throw you around? You're pretty much just along for the ride at that point. As Brandon Weiss is finding out, Stud Stash up and down, a big elbow driven right to the sternum of the Flamingo King.
Now, this is the second time that these two groups meet. They have met before, they have practiced, they have watched each other, but now this is serious work being done right here. These two teams, they're working hard to make sure they stay on top, but not only that, but to get that gold. Stud Stash picking up Brandon Weiss off the ground, taking him to his corner, tagged in. Rob Love just throwing them chops to the chest, trying to cave it in. I don't think that birdcage can take it.
I see what you did there. But Brandon Weiss taking flight himself, jumping straight over King Rob Love. Has the knuckle lock going up high. The Flamingo takes flight. But Rob Love yanking him down off the top rope, doing exactly what he needed to do to maintain control. And again, this is exactly what we were talking about, Doc. That familiarity with each other's offense. We've seen Brandon Weiss hit that numerous times in these matches. So has King Rob Love, and doing what he needed to do to shift his momentum and make sure he did not wind up in the situation that Brandon Weiss found himself in.
And we've mentioned this earlier, even in this match, it just takes one little slip for you to be able to give the advantage to your opponent. And here comes Brandon Weiss like a runaway train right into Rob Love, just flying in with that elbow. Ooh.
Takes King Rob Love over.
That's a wild ride.
To say the least, and Brandon Weiss say he's not done. King Rob Love taking over to the corner, just boots in the face. Nothing fancy there. In comes Casey Blackrose.
Oh, we're going for it. Tag team maneuver, but something happened.
Oh.
Rob Love capitalizing, but Casey Blackrose is making sure he takes the advantage.
As he should, and again, speaks to the knowledge and acumen of King Rob Love trying to force these openings, but the flocking Brawlers proving to be too much. And Rob Love, to his credit, staying alive in this match, has taken everything the flocking Brawlers have thrown at him. Hits Casey with that jawbreaker. In comes Stud Stash.
Well, what's crazy is we're looking at two well-oiled machines. These two teams, what's going on here? Uh-oh. Looks like Rob Love is getting some attention where Stud Stash and Casey Blackrose, that little brother, big brother relationship is breaking down a little bit.
Casey Blackrose manages to avoid disaster. Stud Stash coming in like a freight train, but again, Casey Blackrose managing to get out of danger's way. That side kick rocks the big man Stud Stash. Casey Blackrose takes him down, blips in with the senton. This is what the flocking Brawlers needed. They've got the big man down off his feet.
They're going to have to try their best to keep him down because this big man, once he's back on his feet, they're going to work even harder. Woo!
Oh.
That's strength.
Impressive display of power by Casey Blackrose. Not everybody can get that man up off the ground like that, but...
Not just off the ground, but that high off the ground.
Very true. But Stud Stash... Oh, we're singing the praises of Casey Blackrose, but Stud Stash is going to take a little more than that to put this big man away, and Casey Blackrose knows that and doing everything he can to pick up the victory. But just like that, Doc, just the size and strength of Stud Stash swinging it back in the Texas Kingdom's favor, and a big Uranagi takes the babyface backbreaker down.
Wonder how that backbreaker's back is doing. He's known for breaking everybody else's back, but that man charging on top of you like that, the look that Stud Stash can give you can break your back. And yet he's not able to secure Casey down for the three. Casey's got a lot of will, a lot of power, a lot of energy. He's going to have to work harder. Those big arms wrapped around him.
And Casey Blackrose has no shortage of heart, but that's only going to get you so far, and you've only got so much of it. Sooner or later, it's going to catch up to him if he can't make something happen, but he is trying just that, rolling out of the way of King Rob Love's elbows, firing back with these shots of his own, rocking the King's jaw, but there you see, reaching out for the tag to Stud Stash. Stud Stash now the legal man.
And here he comes!
Oh! As Casey Blackrose just found out, running into the brick wall that is the big man one more time.
And what's nuts is not just the elbow you got to watch out for that move. It's the whole mass of man that comes at you.
It's a 2 count again, and I agree with you, Doc. I mean, that's not a sight I want to see flying at me, Stud Stash.
Well, what can you do? Like you said earlier, you just have to stand there and accept.
Not a whole lot you can do. As Casey is finding out, Brandon Weiss trying to get the crowd behind him, trying to reach out to his tag team partner and get involved in this match. Unfortunately, Casey just too far away, manages to get out of the hold with the jawbreaker.
But that man's still on his feet. Picks him right up off the ground. Stud Stash.
Oh, taking him on a bit of a tour, slamming him down.
Casey Blackrose, he's gonna have to work really hard to get to his partner, but Stud Stash got him down.
And Casey Blackrose, I mean, to the man's credit, staying alive in this match. Many men have not been able to say the same. Facing off against Stud Stash. Oh, no. This is that violence we've been talking about, Stud Stash. Nothing but bad intentions on his mind. Looks like he was going to try to break the finger of Casey Blackrose. I think Casey knew it and knew he had to get out of danger's way.
But I think he's only upsetting the monster in the ring. The grown man, the mountain, grabs him by the head. Stud Stash shoves that big old knee into Casey's gut.
Casey sees it coming, catches it, hits him with a knee of his own. Studstash is rocked, but Casey Blackrose, he's still on Dream Street himself. Can't really capitalize properly, but does hit the enziguri. Studstash sent to the ropes. In comes Brandon Weiss.
We got two vets, two military vets in the ring. We're gonna have to figure out and wait and see if Brandon Weiss's training, both here and at the Hybrid School of Wrestling and out there, is gonna stack up to the training of this man here, despite the fact not only has he had military training, but in the deathmatch circuit, Studstash is well known. He's eating that pain for breakfast, pulling on Brandon Weiss's leg.
I'll tell you what, if they didn't know who Studstash was before now, they definitely know now. King Rob Love, once again the legal man, is continuing this punishment on the team of the flocking Brawlers. Brandon Weiss on the receiving end now. King Rob Love has that waist lock, but Brandon Weiss pushing him back into the corner. Manages to break it, hitting the King with those back elbows.
Is he going to be able to keep that momentum? Rob Love brings that big old royal leg right into the face of the Flamingo King.
Answering your question right there, Doc, with that emphatic statement is King Rob Love going for the pin. 1, 2.
Not quite, not quite.
And just like that, King Rob Love wasting no time at all, converting right into the rear chin lock, looking to restrict the blood flow in the airway of Brandon Weiss.
Grabs him by the arm.
Not giving the man a chance to breathe.
But he puts him in a hammerlock. Brandon Weiss throwing that elbow, trying to escape, but he's being pulled back. And here comes Studstash, who was tagged in, retaliating with those knees, that big old shoulder, and Brandon Weiss is just looking like a limp noodle.
I think the Texas Kingdom is doing this very smart right now. If you noticed, Brandon Weiss was just laying into King Rob Love with those elbows when he made the tag to Studstash. The big man coming in, Brandon Weiss wasn't even aware of it and ate that big belly to belly as a result, but staying alive is Brandon Weiss.
By the hair of his chinny chin chin. Brandon Weiss taking those big old fists into his chest, and he's just being bludgeoned at this point.
Absolutely right, and frankly, I don't expect anything else from Studstash.
Well, considering the fact that you got those big clubs for arms, nothing you can do.
Except use them to the best of your ability, which that man does every single time he's in the ring with anybody. And unfortunately for Brandon Weiss, he's the poor soul on the receiving end tonight.
Big shoulders into Brandon Weiss's torso. He's being lifted onto the top turnbuckle. Oh, that big man is climbing. Oh, not quite. One foot's on the rope. Wasn't able to get the other one. But he's getting some severe shocks to the system while Brandon Weiss is throwing that big boot into his chest, pushing him away, which is a good idea.
Yeah, that's about the best thing you can do right there. Brandon Weiss hitting the drop kick. Down goes Studstash.
Floyd Curl checking on both of them. The count has started. Casey Blackrose extending that arm. King Rob Love also extending his arm. He's calling for his teammate, but they're not able to get themselves course corrected. Brandon Weiss crawling his way to his corner, rolling over. Studstash is making it to his corner, makes the tag, and here comes Casey Blackrose, who also gets tagged.
So does King Rob Love. Both men coming in at the same time, but Casey Blackrose getting the better of the exchange. Down goes the King. Casey Blackrose catches him with the backbreaker.
This man knows how to put a backbreaker on anybody from anywhere.
From any angle, including with that senton right across the spine of Rob Love. But the King stays in it.
Is that frustration? Is that energy? Casey Blackrose.
Why not all of the above? I don't think they're mutually exclusive at this point in time, Doc. You need a little bit of everything you can muster when you're in there with someone like that. The backstabber from Casey Blackrose, but Studstash, they're waiting for him.
Oh, here comes.
The lowdown goes for the pin, but Brandon Weiss coming down from the heavens, taking out Studstash.
But here comes Rob Love.
With the stunner. All four men down and just receiving no small amount of punishment. Who is going to be able to get to their feet first? Who is going to be able to capitalize on the chaos in this ring? Casey Blackrose, King Rob Love, firing back and forth, punches, knife edge, chops, everything they've got, throwing it at one another right now. Everything to be crowned the victor and the hybrid tag team champions.
One more, but not quite. King Rob,
But Rob Love hangs on. Casey going to the well 1-2 many times, and he's in there
Ooh.
with both members of the Texas Kingdom.
That big old head into Casey Blackrose. Ooh, tag team
The
maneuver.
Magic Killer.
Woo! Oh!
Here are your winners, and still the Hybrid School of Wrestling Tag Team Champions, the Texas Kingdom.
Well, with that last move, it was set in stone. They are still the Hybrid School of Wrestling Tag Team Champions.
That's right, and Doc, I'm almost at a loss for words. Just an exhibition of violence is what we just saw. All four of these men leaving absolutely everything in that ring. For those, you see them right now in the hands of Floyd Curl, those hybrid tag team championships. And just like you said, still in the hands of the Texas Kingdom, but taking nothing away from the flocking Brawlers in this fight. They gave it absolutely everything they had, and it should be proud of their effort here tonight.
But wait a minute, it's not over yet, because despite the smiles that we see, the props being given, there's still more work to be done, because King Rob Love and Casey Blackrose, if you look, there's still tension there between the two, because tomorrow in Pasadena, Texas, at the Texas Showcase, they're going up against each other.
That's right, fans. The Texas Indie Showcase, Pasadena, Texas. United 2-1-0 will be in action. The Heritage Champion, Casey Blackrose, defending it against that man right there, King Rob Love. If you can't be there live, fans, catch the replay whenever you can. It's guaranteed to be a barn burner. But for here tonight, absolutely incredible match. Doc, pleasure to have you back.
Thank you, and pleasure to be back in the booth with you.
Oh, I know it's your pleasure, but thank you for saying it.
Jesus.
And fans, thank you as always for joining us here. Hybrid School of Wrestling, my own summer. Texas Kingdom, still your champions.
Be sure to catch more, because if you didn't see it, catch it on YouTube. Oh, we got a mic.
I just want to say thank you all for coming out, for being here, supporting independent wrestling. Oh yeah! Supporting the Hybrid School of Wrestling.
Oh yeah.
This is the place to be. The Hybrid School of Wrestling. The next show, July 20th. Give me an oh yeah if you're gonna be here.
Oh yeah, you didn't give an oh yeah, you're not gonna be here.
Oh, I said oh yeah. I'm definitely
I didn't
gonna be
hear
here.
you.
Oh yeah.
Thank you guys. We love each and every one of you. Oh yeah!
Hybrid Strong!